Everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name's Josh. Well, we're not here for a fun one today. We're going to talk about an influencer that was making their child sick to gather money and fame and clout and attention from the internet. And what depths will these parents go to get that clout on social media to gain money and fame? It is insane. And I think this is happening more than we think. So let's talk about Alana Harris. Trigger warning. This is going to be about hurting a child, okay? And it's going to be about poisoning, and it's going to be about Munchausen by proxy, and it's going to be about exploitation and the whole thing. It's not going to be fun. It's going to make you super upset, and I want you guys to make sure that you have the capacity inside here to take what we're about to watch today, because it's one of the most disgusting things next to Ruby Frankie that we have seen in a very, very long time, okay? So I warned you. So basically, there's a TikToker called Alana Harris called the Harris family. And one of her children has been sick, right? One of her children died a while ago, then they had another kid. And then basically, she's like every family vlogger on the internet. She has babies for clout and makes her a lot of money. 1.1 million followers on TikTok, okay? And so basically, the new journey has been this kid in the hospital with brain tumors or something like that, or cancers or something like that, where they're trying to figure out what's wrong with this child, and she's documenting every step of the process. Now, this is a lot of family vloggers do this, okay? You know every single thing about them, including every diagnosis they've ever had, every time they've been to the hospital, every time they've had a broken bone or have had a cold or whatever the case may be. You've been there. They've taken you to the hospital with them. And you know that's some of my most content. Okay? There is no reason ever to turn a camera on when your child is in a hospital. Okay? If you want to document your things as an adult in the hospital, go for it. That's your prerogative. But your child can never give informed consent, especially when they're under duress, especially when they're at the dentist with drugs in them. There's no way, even if you said your kid could give consent, that they could. Okay? And kids can't, so let's be real. But some parents think they can, and it's ridiculous. Okay? But let's just say you believe that children can give consent to be on camera. Okay? Can they when they're under anesthesia? Can they when they're in pain, breaking bones and doing all these things? When they're under duress, do you think they can give consent then? Right? So this child is 2, something like that. But I'm going to let this person here tell you what's going on with this, because it's going to piss you off. So this is what dropped about 8 hours ago.
I was shocked today when I went to look up a TikTok family in Australia that I hadn't really seen in a while, and I was wondering how their daughter was doing, because she had brain surgery recently for some rare disorder, like benign growths around her body or something. But apparently, they're off TikTok, they're off social media, and they have been for a little while. And I was getting really worried, and apparently it's all just come out that Alana was drugging Daisy this entire time with benzodiazepines, and she's now obviously not in palliative. It was all false.
She was faking her daughter in palliative care, end of life care, for tumors in her brain, and it was all fake. I don't know if you can hear her from her accent, but she was injecting her child with benzodiazepines and making her sick for social media.
She is up, sitting in bed, thank goodness, and eating and safe. But now she's under investigation. Apparently, Brock had no idea.
Brock's the dad.
And the kids are within, child protection. But I just don't get that. What the f***? It's absolutely
you don't get it?
Crazy. Who does that to their child?
Let me tell you who does this to their child. Family vloggers, there's no end they won't go to for the fame and clout and for content. And they run out of content, so they create new content. All of a sudden, they're doing a video about their kid at the dentist, and why did this go viral? Not knowing that the thumbnail of their child with their mouth wide open on the internet is the reason it's going viral, until they figure it out. And then they still do it. Okay, why is this video going viral with my daughter being sized up for a bra? Weiss life. Why? Because predators are going to watch your preteen daughter get her chest sized on the internet so they can see that and have the fantasy in their brain. These predators. Remember, I interviewed Dr. Leslie Dobson, and there is no depths that these creeps won't go to find something. Especially the ones that are incarcerated, by the way. They'll find this, and you're serving it up on a silver platter. They'll find it. Prepare social relationships. You do a video on your daughter's having her first period. Why is this one getting 1 million views? Why? Because predators are watching it. Okay, it's dangerous. And so when you send your kid to the hospital and you film it and all this stuff and you wonder why, they'll just continue to do it. What type of person does this take? I think all of these people would do it to some degree. They run out of content, and so they have to fill every bit of space. Family vloggers are crazy to me because it's like, who does this many effing activities as a family? And it's so crazy because normal families don't do that. Okay, they're not like every week going to Disney, every week going to here, every week going to nobody does that. There are schedules that you have to keep for your child. Dance, there's sports, there's this, that, and the other thing. There's a million things going on, but all their life is content. And a lot of the times they'll pull their kids out of school so that the kids can work full time in the content because it makes them millions of dollars. That's the type of person that will do this. You get a taste of that fame. When you've got 1 million subscribers on the internet, you will use anything to get fame, including poison your daughter to keep her sick so that you can document the journey on the internet. And again, trigger warning, and I'm not blurring here because it's just an infant and won't likely look like this when they get old, but you have, like, there's sometimes I don't blank, and you guys know why I don't, okay? But this woman who has been poisoning her child willingly so that she could document and keep this child sick and going to the hospital, not single. This is very much Gypsy Rose level shit, okay? Knowing that she's been poisoning her father, made this video. A baby's first haircut is meant to be a memorable experience. She is cutting her baby's hair before she goes and gets her skull cut open. And who's filming that? Dad's filming it. And she's going, "Nyeh." You have to see the psychopathic behavior of what's going on right now. They're wheeling this child away to get her brain looked at, her head cut open, massive scars on her head. Because this mother has been feeding her poison to keep her sick. And the hospitals are like, well, we got to figure this out. So they do an invasive brain surgery on a child while this mother was killing her. This child has been used for content. Look at this. Look at it with your eyes. Don't look away. This sick, disgusting piece of shit has been sitting here in one video doing her hair. In the next video, my kid's sick. In the next video, look at us, happy family. Do you know how many freaking brand deals they probably have on this that they've kept up here? Now, I don't care that she went private on Instagram. She didn't go private on TikTok because she's making money on TikTok. She's not making money on Instagram. With this virality of what's going on right now, she's going to collect every last penny that she can collect because she's done. And she's going to prison. And if she doesn't, there's no justice. Australia, I think she's from. Your justice system is very similar to Canada's, I think, which is very lenient on people. This woman deserves nothing but to be put under a prison. When you purposely poison a child to keep that child sick so that you could document the journey on TikTok, you deserve to be in the ground forever. Do you know what I'm saying? The Bible is very clear on this, if you believe what the Bible says. To anyone who hurts one of these little ones, tie a f***ing millstone around her neck and throw her into the ocean. That's what she deserves. This is absolutely bananas what we're seeing here. 1.1 million followers. Comments are turned off. And the thing is, she turned the comments off because she doesn't want to see the comments, but she left her content up because she still wants to collect on the virality of it. Because her latest video, 2.2 million, that's people coming to watch this horror story. And she's collecting on it when we watch it. And that's just the nature of this game. Okay? So this is the fundraiser that she had going. This is support Daisy and her family during this trying time. Listen to this. She raised 62,637 AUD. $40,324 So the dollar is very much similar to Canadian dollar. Oh my God. So hi there, my name is Karen. Of course, her name's Karen. And I'm Brock's mom, Daisy's grandmother. Daisy was once a bright and bubbly little girl that has recently taken an unfortunate turn and has now put herself in what appears to be a comatose state for over 100 hours. Listen to this. So whenever you hear something like this, and has now put herself in, like, just saying the kid has put herself into what appears to be a comatose state. No. The mother was poisoning her with poison, with medicine, and the mother put her into a comatose state for over 100 hours. The mother was purposely trying to kill this child. Because, and you'll see soon, this mother, like all these family vloggers, and I very rarely touch on this because they've already lost a child, and I don't want to, like, compound it, but I think it's disgusting when family vloggers will capitalize and monetize the loss of their baby. I don't do it because it's just, I mean, already, again, if that's how you're going to grieve, who am I? Right? But I think it's disgusting. So I'll touch on it here. But she already capitalized off one of her children that died. Okay? And so she found that was probably the most like monetizable, lucrative shit that she'd ever done. And then she found this. And this was her next step. This child was likely going to die if she wasn't discovered. And she would have capitalized on it. So anytime that you see a family vlogger capitalizing off miscarriage or just the children that are dying or terminal, stop watching it. Because that is, you are taking that child's dignity away. All these family vloggers out there that were talking about their kids that had all these weird diseases and all this stuff that were terminal, and they're like, we're trying to raise awareness. We've talked about this before, and I will not back down on my stance. I don't care how mad you get at me, how much you think they're amazing. Okay? You don't need to show that child's life every single day of the week and monetize it. If you want to show something like Sanfilippo syndrome, you remember that one we talked about those two moms? Show it. Cool. I understand that you can show it. But every single day, every single moment, you're monetizing it? Do you really need to? Or can you show it once, then show the things you need to show? No, they monetized it and made money off it, and that became their source of income. And that is bullshit. Okay, and this is very similar to that. There is a whole subset, a whole sub-economy on the internet where sick children get monetized, and it should be outlawed. Absolutely. No questions asked. This is the one thing that you can ask social media platforms to do, and they should do it without question. There should be nobody that would argue, no, we really want to show sick kids on our platform all the time. That'd be great. To raise awareness. No. This one thing. Medical things with children should never be posted on the internet ever. I don't care how rare it is. I don't give a shit. If you think you're raising awareness, there are doctors out there specializing in that thing. You'll find them. Okay, you can talk about it. You don't have to show them. Okay, absolutely bananas that we're sitting here in this conversation because it entices people to do this. And if they don't have a child that's sick, they might just do this to make them sick because they want the internet fame and money. Let's continue. Unfortunately, there aren't any medications or stimulants that are safe for Daisy to have to help her wake. Daisy has encountered countless needles, blood tests while asleep, and doesn't so much bat an eyelid. On 27th of June, 2024, Daisy was fully diagnosed with a condition called tuberous sclerosis complex, a rare multi-system autosomal dominant genetic disease that causes non-cancerous tumors to grow in the brain and other vital organs such as kidneys, heart, liver, eyes, and lungs, and skin. The family was given this diagnosis on the same day their first daughter had passed away 4 years ago, where she's monetizing it, by the way. I couldn't even imagine feeling this kind of pain. Her diagnosis to the dates are here's all the diagnoses. But on top of that, doctors are still bending backwards trying to understand why Daisy decides to completely shut down with no response. Well, now they found out. The mother was poisoning her. And the fact that they still have this up is mind-blowing to me. All medical evidence so far shows that Daisy should be awake and well. See, they're like, we can't see why. It's because the mother was feeding her medicine. This little baby girl. With, of course, the exception of her severe developmental delays, but sadly that isn't the case. Investigations are taking place and information regarding Daisy has been expedited to other hospitals around, not Australia, but other counties. And she was happy that nobody could find anything because it meant that she could continue to take this kid to specialists and everything else and monetize it. She was secretly poisoning her daughter while doctors couldn't figure out why and what was happening. Even after Daisy decides to wake, we still have the long journey of trying to figure out what's causing the level of sleep and slow brain activity. It's the benzodiazepine. And they raised so much money. And this was done a month ago. I think it was finished a month ago. And she pocketed the cash. She pocketed the cash while she poisoned her kid. She poisoned her kid to raise money for the kid. I mean, if she doesn't end up in prison, there is no justice. Zero justice. And Brock, the dad, for his thing, has said, he wrote this on his, I think this is on Snapchat. He says, I figured this would be the fastest way to reach everybody as I know everybody likes to gossip. Yeah, this is just gossip. For what it's worth, I had no idea what Elena was doing to Daisy. Yeah, well, I don't know if I believe you. You could exploit the child on the internet, make a tons of money, but you can't see her wanting to do this. I just don't believe it. I don't care. I don't think I believe it. I pushed for those surgeries because in my heart, I felt that it would help. I didn't realize that Daisy was being drugged the entire time, causing her symptoms to be what they were. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm a good dad. Are you? Are you? And I do my best to love and protect my children. Well, you didn't do good enough. I don't care. You didn't do good enough. I should have been better for them. I'm sorry I couldn't protect Daisy the way I should have. The children have been taken into custody under speculation. I potentially had something to do with this. Oh, under speculation, I potentially had something to do with this. On everything I have ever known and ever loved, I had no idea what Elena was doing. Elena, you're an absolute monster. You win. To all 4 of my beautiful children, I love you so dearly. I'm sorry. Also, just want to add to all the people that have dragged me through the dirt and said all these terrible things about me, when the truth comes out, and it absolutely will, I hope you all feel absolutely horrible for the nasty, hurtful, and terrible things you said about me. I've had no part in any of this, and have only done my best to support Daisy in her medical journey. Now, maybe. And a lot of people like this kind of stems into why a lot of people are like, why do you only come after moms? Why do you only come after moms? Because moms are the main purveyor of this type of content. The dads barely like, if this is true, and maybe it is, I'm kind of on the fence about it, but like if my child's getting sick, I'm like, and I'm not like watching them like a hawk to see what's going on, like I would feel guilty half the time, unless it's a dad driven channel like a bunch are. Half the time they don't even know what's going on in the content. They're not there. They're out with their mistresses or whatever, the secretary or the sports therapists. You know what I'm saying? They're out there. They're living the dream. They're making the money. They don't give a shit what their wife is doing. Okay? You're exploiting my children? Oh, well, it is what it is. We're making millions of dollars. I can retire my husband, they say. You can go get yourself because you're not helping your kids either. But at the same time, yeah, it makes sense that the women know what's going on, the men barely, but they're not without blame. So not blaming them, but it is, again, the women who mainly do this. And that's why I mainly come after them, because they're the 99% that do this. So here's the original thing here's the kind of thing that broke it. Got some Harris family gossip for you. So the mom and dad have drugged Daisy the whole time. Some of the nurses started following her Insta page and TikTok and was like, no, she's spreading false information. She doesn't have brain tumors and she never was palliative. After her last brain surgery, which found nothing, the Children's Hospital decided to do a toxicology report and showed that Daisy had high reading for benzodiazepines, which is like Valium. Kids have been taken off them and not too sure where the mom and dad are. However, Daisy is under the care of child protection and still in hospital, awake, sitting up, eating, and being normal. So when this kid gets like weaned off the benzodiazepines, like there is these structural years that this kid has lost forever and will likely never be ever like normal, quote unquote, ever again. This mom ruined it for her child. This is like, don't forget, this is, as much as we make fun of Gypsy Rose, this is what happened to Gypsy Rose, and that's why she's like the way she is today. Her mother did those things to her and turned her into this crazy monster. So Gypsy Rose is a victim, but also a murderer. So, just saying, she's not without blame because she murdered somebody, but at some time people are like, hey, she deserved to be murdered. Do you think this child would deserve to kill her mother? I think a lot of us would say, well, I think a lot of us would say, I'll look this way, right? Because if you're being poisoned by your mother for social media content, that's bananas. I think this Munchausen by proxy thing is a real thing that has only expanded. It used to be very rare, right? But what has changed since Munchausen became a thing, right? Social media exploded. And the attention that you get from your children has exploded. And so Munchausen syndrome by proxy has itself, I think, in my opinion, exploded because we're only more. So if you look at Gypsy Rose's mom, she did that for local support, for local help, for like things locally. It wasn't like worldwide. It wasn't world famous. A little bit, to a degree, a little bit. But now it's way more. And they're using the internet to do it, to raise money. And so they have financial incentives to hurt their children, to make sure that they're sick, or when they do get sick, they have financial incentives to cover it all. So I'm not even joking with you. When some of these kids get hurt, like it's the Binghams, this is how we Bing them. Those kids are in the hospital every other week with something broken. You know those parents get damn giddy when their kids get hurt, right? Oh, well, we got 8 videos now to do of this child's broken foot or broken arm or whatever the case may be. They absolutely love it. And they are giddy when their children get hurt because they get paid. Likely, they're probably not watching their kids or turning a blind eye when they're doing something dangerous because they want them to hurt themselves because the content is huge for them. You can go on This Is How We Bing Them, and maybe I'll just do an entire video just on the kids' injuries alone. They have made millions of dollars off their children's injuries, and they love it. So when you're making money off this type of thing, you have incentive to make sure your child stays sick. So I question now, and it's her fault, every single person that has a terminal kid or a sick kid on the internet, I question whether or not they are keeping their kids sick, and we have a right to. You got this woman, this is a separate thing, but I forget her name. She's got like bags under her eyes and stuff like that, and she goes on all these first dates. Okay. She's not going on like, she's not an OnlyFans star or anything. She's going on first date. She's like celibate and everything else, but she's like, this is me. This is my life. This is my first date. She goes with pilot guy, musician guy. She never films them. They're never in it, but she goes on these dates, right? And she's looking for love. And she goes on so many effing dates, which is like, I'm like, okay. And never lands with one of them. And we're all like, why not? Because she has incentive not to. Because her whole freaking platform, now that she makes all the money, she quit her job, she does social media full time. Her whole incentive now is to just go on first dates. If she finds love, her platform is over. Okay? She's not going to be the next Pookie and what's her face. The guy looks like Matt Damon ate a cardboard box. What's his name? I forget his name. But they're exploiting their children now too, by the way. Anyway, she doesn't have incentive to actually make it work. And so she won't make it work. She's going to take all these guys on all these dates, or they're going to take her on these dates, and she has no inclination whatsoever to take it to a next level. Never. It's never going to happen because she makes her millions doing it. Same way with kids getting hurt. Same way with taking your kid to the hospital. Same way with covering content with your children. These people will never stop, okay? Until the kids hate them. And that is literally where they all go. It's very rare to see. There's these twins that are having babies now, or whatever those girls' name. They're the only ones I can see that don't hate their parents. But to some degree, but they do hate their parents, okay? It's very rare we see a family vlogger to its fruition where the kid feels like, I had a great life. More often than not, like 95% of the time, they hated it. Every second of it. Sherry Frankie, perfect example. Chad Frankie, perfect example. Okay? You got people out there coming out and saying this is terrible, and these people are the ones who've capitalized on it. So this is where it all went down, and they've already shut down the thing on the Aussie TikTok snark. And this one has like 100, how many comments? I don't know how many comments. Lots of comments, but basically this is where it all started. OMAF&G photo and comments. They don't really say what happened, but you can read the comments. The more this sits, the more I feel ill. Surely there's a negligent case with the hospital. How can they perform brain surgery without running a full toxicity first? There's going to be some crap that goes on here because because again, as a doctor, would you want to be like, hey, I'm going to check your kid for diazepines or whatever they're called first? No, they're going to trust the mom. But now, if you see a doctor, every doctor in the world, if you don't know your clients, and if you do, you should know your clients. And if you do know them and you know that they're family influencers or they do their own content online with their children and something's happening with their children, your first inclination should be doing kick the parents out and talk to this kid alone. You should be putting on the file. There might be some weird shit going on with this kid. Okay? It's insane. Her head was cut open. Watching the TikTok of Lana cutting her hair before surgery, she's such a sicko. I don't know how anybody can do that to innocent children. I wonder if the other kids have been sick at all during their life. Again, I think what happened was that first child got sick, died, or whatever happened to it, and she capitalized on it and realized that this is where my big money is. I'm not joking, and that's disgusting. And I know what that sounds like, and it's true, though. I knew she was full of shit when she was more upset over not having a real coffee machine than her sick child. Now, I looked for that video, and I probably have it, because I downloaded every single video from her TikTok channel. I have a program that does it, and it took 3 hours to download 4 gigs of her videos. So she can get rid of them all she wants. I have every single one of them. All of them. And we're going to go through real quick in a second. I'm going to show you. And I don't know anything about this woman, by the way. And I'm just clicking through the content, and I'm like, what in the and they're all the same. And it's going to open your eyes a little bit, hopefully. You know what will never sit right with me? Not only was she doing this to her baby, but she was also okay for them to do unnecessary surgeries on her, knowing they never find anything because she was causing the symptoms. That's what I said. That poor baby is going to be scarred for the rest of her life physically and mentally once she finds out what her mother was doing to her. I hope she goes to jail for a very, very long time. She's not a mother, she's filth. And all the posts blaming medical system when it was always her. So she was blaming the medical system. So effed, isn't it? The money they were donated, they had so many people give hard-earned money and support them via subscriptions believing her lies. It's so sick. Pathetic excuse of a mother. I never understood how she was so smiley in hospital in the pics of her baby, posting Daisy's updates in the subscription part on Instagram. So she was monetizing her sick baby on a paywall behind Instagram. And Instagram's cool with this. If you put children behind a paywall, holy shit, you deserve to be in prison. I don't care what's behind the paywall. If you put your child behind a paywall so people have to pay to see it, I mean, you shouldn't ever put your kid on the internet, but that's just especially sick, okay? Dee Dee Blanchard 2.0. I broke my ankle running here. This is Brock's actual account. I've known this for about a week now, but it wasn't my place or anyone else's to fully confirm until Brock or someone from his family was ready to share themselves. Elena is obviously very sick mentally, and I hope she gets the help. No, I hope she gets put in prison for this. Okay, no help for you. You're beyond help. You're beyond redemption. No thanks. You should, again, not be here anymore with us if you hurt a child the way you did. Not just me, the other mods have been amazing too, blah, blah. I don't give a shit about mods. Boil my blood that it's not only she had poisoned her baby, but she also wasted a bunch of hospital resources. Really hope nobody else's legitimately ill child has suffered as a result of her using PICU beds, ambulances, healthcare professionals, and her Ronald McDonald room. So she was also sponsored by the Ronald McDonald House and took it away from another family who likely needed it. Now, you can say anything about the system. There's no kids who probably missed out on medical care. Probably. I doubt it. But there is a family who missed out on the Ronald McDonald room that they took. That's for sure. And McDonald should sue the ever-living shit out of her and give it to the other families. I missed out on a Ronald McDonald room, grateful to even have it as an option, and it cost us so much money, and we had to travel so far after giving birth. I was in a wheelchair, and baby was really sick. Yeah, there's people just giving their horror stories. Makes me wonder if Brock's health issues were caused by her too. Well, Brock, check your noodles for bleach. To give her barely 1-year-old daughter benzos is severely mutated kind of sick. Absolutely disgusting. The way she smiles in videos when interacting with a child who she overdosed is just evil. I'm watching her videos again and I'm sick to my stomach knowing this feral F did this. Now, this is a good transition. Look at this. I downloaded every single video. Every single one. Look at this. And, maybe I'll go through this because we'll do a deep dive. But let's just quickly scroll through these, okay?
Who wants to be a part of a Christmas giveaway?
We decided to prank our...
And don't forget, watch this, keeping in mind that she's poisoning her child all the way through this.
I went shopping. We went shopping. Do you ever just wish you were a kid again with no responsibilities? Because same. But my biggest goal this year as being a mum of 4 is to be organised. And one thing that I did last year that saved us so much stress and money was Dinnerly.
Hey, Dinnerly, get yourself, because no one's ever going to use you again. Everybody reach out to Dinnerly right now and say, just because you sponsored a poisonous, murderous mother, I'm never going to buy you again. And these people should never be rewarded for using, I don't care if the mom didn't. If you're buying something from a family vlogger who exploits children, that person who's paying them to do like Dinnerly, they're capitalizing off exploitation too. Okay, this one pissed me off. Look at this.
We are so lucky to have our niece living with us now. She was dancing every day till we hit 500K. What content would you like to see from us now?
What content would you like to see from our prepubescent niece that lives with us now, dresses like that? What would you like to see? And she's going to dance on our channel until we hit 500K. What would you like to see from our underage niece, creepers? What would you like to see? That's what she's doing. I don't know what happened to her, why the niece is there, but they're capitalizing on the niece living with them and outwardly just saying, look, we're doing it. Look.
Hayden will be dancing every day till we hit 500K. Isn't she cute?
Isn't she cute? Are you out of your effing mind? Are you out of your damn mind?
Hayden just got back from her mom's house.
Look at this. So she found that Peyton was making the money, and then she kept putting Peyton on the internet. No. This is crazy. This level of exploitation is, she didn't have a teen daughter, then she got one, and then exploited her.
Guess what we got?
Shut up, teeth. This pisses me off, so this is it. We lost our daughter last year, so here's my cleavage, and let's dance to it. After losing our daughter last year, oh my gosh. This is unbelievable. I don't have a normal baby. I have Chase and Ellie, born 12 months apart from failed IUD. Destined to have shared birthdays for life and get mama stopped by every old lady telling her she has her hands. Shut up. After our first daughter passed away, we filmed ourselves crying. Look, there's another one. She says, leaving the hospital with one baby, because I guess they're supposed to have two, just to find out I'm pregnant again. It's crazy, these people. Just get a Netflix subscription.
So, I am having a rough morning, and
Oh,
yes,
are you?
I have been crying.
Oh
So
no!
we are having a little girl in.
Shut up,
I'm
you
going
piece
to
of
be
shit.
completely. Social media is a highlight reel, and what you wouldn't know is that behind the scenes, I have been crying to the point of vomiting. So
Also, behind the scenes, I have been poisoning my child to the point of death.
I am going to be completely raw and honest with you, but I am not okay, and it's okay to not be okay. Just doing this vlog is already making me cry, and I don't know how to. I don't even know where to
Shut the
start.
f*** up.
So I have officially stumbled across the best TikTok hack.
Shit.
See, she just got done talking about, and when you thought your contraception would work, but
Shit.
that's not even
I
funny.
was-
You wanted these kids. These are content children.
Our daughter in heaven. This is our second Christmas without you. Our hearts hurt every day.
What in the
Do anything to hold you one last time. Me
This is
leaving the-
okay. Again, I can't go through it anymore. People who exploit losing children on the internet, there's some kind of special psychoticness about you. And there's people out there in the comments like, this is how they deal with grief. You deal with grief by making TikToks about it? Like, that's not normal. You know that, right? You know there's just something wrong with your brain, right? Like, what? So you get strangers to oh, I'm so sorry for you. Is that what you're looking for? Because you're psychopathic. There's something wrong with you. You need therapy. People who, again, I know this is an unpopular opinion. I know it is. But if you exploit child loss on the internet, I don't like you. I would judge you, and I think you should be judged. It's just not. It's not the place for it. It's not. Okay, stop. And there are so many mothers going through. Yeah, and they've for billions of years, for millions and millions of years since humans have been around, mothers have gone through it. And then just this day and age is now we can monetize it, and I just think it's disgusting. I think there's something wrong with you. I don't care what it sounds like. I just think there's something wrong with you, and you should get your head checked. Because again, people will, like, that's why you always hear like Just Cass and everybody else have their babies. They'll tell you they're pregnant like 2 seconds after they get pregnant, because either way it goes, they're gonna monetize it. And I just think there's something wrong. There's something wrong with you. There's no other way to put it. You're sick in the head. So, what else do we have here? Yeah, I just seeing all the sick baby posts here really, really getting me. After 4 weeks in hospital, 9 days in PICU, 8 cardiac arrests. 8 cardiac arrests. Daisy is now going into her first brain surgery. 8. This woman forced her child to have 8 heart failures. Cardiac arrest. 8 of them. Meanwhile, knowing this whole time she's been injecting her with benzodiazepines. You see this child with this stuck to her face, being fed by a tube, and you're filming it for TikTok. You're filming it to make money on TikTok. This one has 113,000.6 hearts and 3742 saves. These videos have 1.3 million, 16 million views, 2.2 million, millions of views of you just and TikTok has this still there. TikTok hasn't removed this. At least if this was happening on YouTube would be like, it's over. We're taking this down. Okay, TikTok doesn't give a shit. And I can't wait for TikTok to be gone. I can't wait. Her most popular video, leaving the hospital with one baby, 33 million views. Me leaving the hospital excited to not be pregnant anymore with one baby. Like she capitalized on the loss hard. 16 million views, 10 million, 15 million. Her niece, 9 million. Just making bank. And then thirst trapping the rest of it. Just a disgusting piece of trash. This woman deserves prison, and I'm going to be following this very closely. And if Brock knew anything, we're going to find out. Because, like, how do you not know? How do you not know? At some point, you got to be questioning. All these doctors like, we have no idea what's happening. And it's only until nurses and stuff found her social media and realized she was lying on the internet that it triggered them to do an investigation, and then they found what was wrong. You piece of shit. This absolute monster of a person. And again, it comes back full circle. When you are incentivized to make money and gain followers for doing this, you're going to bring the worst out in a lot of people. And it takes the worst type of person to exploit their child. It takes the weirdest kind of psychopath as well, the main character syndrome, to show your entire life for cash on the internet. There's something wrong in your brain when you do this. And so when you incentivize the worst type of people who will do whatever it takes to make it, this is what you're going to end up with. And it's not going to stop until social media platforms ban the exploitation of children. But they don't give a shit. And they're trying to make I think it was Australia that said there's like banning kids on social media until 16, but they're not going to ban mothers exploiting their children because it's mother ran account, right? They're not going to ban this, and this is what they should ban. This should be a study like Micah Stauffer, and this should, like, it should have all stopped after what Micah Stauffer did, by the way, especially the adoption side of things. It should have all stopped. It should have all stopped after 8 passengers. Should have all stopped after Ava Madgery. It should have all stopped after Piper Raquel. Now it should all stop right now, and it will never stop because they make billions off this stuff. And they don't give a shit if it's 1 or 2 kids are going to suffer and die from this. We're waiting for some kid to die, by the way, for this, and it's going to happen. And still, nothing will be done by it. Nothing. And you know who suffers every single time? The kids. And the social media platforms get away with it. These mothers and dads, they get away with it. And people are out here watching this because they want to see the drama, and she's getting paid for it. But she needs to be in prison for the rest of her damn life. Absolutely sickening. Everybody, take a deep breath. Let's do another one together. Here we go. You need those today. If you're close to this case, let me know if you're going to be following it. And if anybody needs the videos that I've downloaded if she ever deletes, which, I mean, TikTok might remove it all, I've got it all. So we're going to, again, keep following this. Let's keep holding these people accountable. We should be holding social media accountable. I don't know how we're going to do that. Rules, laws, everything needs to change because social media accounts won't do it on their own. They have to be literally willed to do it by the law. Man, I heard somewhere that Trump's going to try to cancel the cancellation of TikTok. And if he does that, I mean, he's already a dick. But man, I hope he doesn't do that. TikTok needs to go. Go. Because it enables people to do stuff like this. And incentivizes it. Anyway, thank you for being here for these tough conversations, you guys. Let me know what you think below, as usual, and I will take a look at those comments. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I hope this doesn't sit with you too much. But, I mean, it should. These things should bother us. We should want justice. These kids aren't going to get it. But, I mean, where's this niece going to go now? This is crazy to me. So, anyway, I will see you when I see you.